Oh my God, he's so late. George is so late. George is so late. Well, hello everyone. Welcome to BayernNow, the ultimate Bayern Munich fan channel. Today is a good old morning, okay? Because Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, my guy, I won't say it. Karl-Heinz, don't say the rest, okay? He is coming out today with a lot of freaking confirmations. He pretty much confirmed that Bayern need a backup right back because Hansi Flick wants one. Okay, that's the transfer target revealed. We also know that Coutinho and Odriozola and Perisic could potentially be leaving, all of them, which means we need players. We need some depth. And I'm not talking about some depth like, foot into the water thing. No. I'm talking about squad depth. That's the depth I'm talking about, because some of you don't understand what I mean when I say depth. And Robert Lewandowski, according to Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, came up to him after the final and said, hey Cali, okay, look, I know you're not from California, but I'm still going to call you Cali. Okay, please, keep buying players. And we had a better bench, and that's something that we've been talking about this week. Lewandowski, he's not our star man, because we don't really have one. If anything, our star man would be Thomas Müller, because without Müller playing well, Bayern don't play well, So pretty much Lewandowski telling Karl-Heinz Rummenigge to act up in the transfer window, because we always talk the talk, right? And finally, this season, who would have thought that Coutinho would be on our bench? Because at the time we brought him in, he was supposed to be the real competitor to Müller, and Müller just turned into God. But that's it, man. That's the depth we're looking for. That's the amount of squad depth. That's the just type of ambition I want. I want this from Lewandowski, and I love that, because this season we won that trophy because of how good our squad depth was. We brought Coutinho on, we brought Tolisso on, we brought players on, we brought Coman on at times against Lyon. We did it, and the depth was absolutely crucial to this, right? Karl-Heinz also talked about Thiago leaving, and most specifically right back. That's the position he mentioned. We'll get to the live comments in a minute, but I need to get through this. He talked about the right back position. Sergino Dest is still top of the list. I think if you're buying Sergino Dest, he played against Hertha Berlin, and he played very well. The thing with Sergino Dest is I really wanted him until he ran his mouth about being expensive. Now I don't want him. No, seriously, why did he do that, guys? Why did he ever do that? Why couldn't he shut his mouth? And I just love him forever. No, he's a good player, Sergino Dest. The thing is, when you're buying a Sergino Dest, you're buying potential. You're buying a future. Dortmund got Thomas Meunier. We could be getting Sergino Dest. And they're buying Meunier to be a quick fix. We already have a Pavard. We have a right back there that's competent at doing his job. He gets the job done, right? To his level of extent. Why do I always have to have a little pinch of salt in everything I say? I just realized I never say things straightforward. Lewandowski scores goals in his way of scoring goals. I always say something, but I add something else that's in there that pretty much delegitimizes what I just said. Someone mentioned this to me. They're like, George, when you give compliments, they don't sound like compliments. I don't know. It's just my personality. I don't know why I do this. I just say, I genuinely mean the compliment, but the way I say it, it sounds like I didn't mean it. So yeah, Sergino Dest is definitely an option there for Bayern. I think he'd be a very good option. You're bringing Sergino Dest into a game where you need more attacking width, you need more flexibility and creativity in the final third. He could definitely improve defensively. He's only 5'8", so he's not going to out jump, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is 6'5". He's not going to do that, but he will add a little bit of a different solution, right? Hansi Flick definitely said he wanted, width. Right back position, we could have an American right back and a Canadian right back. So Gino Dest is definitely not American, but he plays for the U.S. men's national team, and I claim him. So we could have that situation, the Canada-U.S. link-up, right? Except Dest is not bigger than Davies, like, the U.S. is bigger than Canada in every single way. Nah, but seriously, I wouldn't mind Sergino Dest. I think he has something about him with his attacking qualities. I think a lot of you suggested we get Max Aarons instead of Sergino Dest. And let's do this. So if we get Sergino Dest, UCL next year, I think so. I think if we get Sergino Dest at right back as a backup right back, we get the Champagne League next year. Okay, that's it. We get the Champagne League next year. So let's move on from that. Dest, definitely an option. I think Max Aarons. Max Aarons is the next one. Now, we could definitely be looking at for right back. I think he's absolutely amazing. Brozovic or Van der Beek, they don't play in the same positions. Why are Man United looking at Van der Beek? You know, that's like taking up, kerosene or something and trying to put out a fire with that. It doesn't make any sense. It's a very non-brainer type of signing. Oh no, it makes no sense. It means it has no brain. So Max Aarons, though, very good player. I think. Hey yo, what's happening with you? Are you trying to disrespect me in front of my kids? I'm in front of my friends. So kids, shut up, George. Nah, seriously, Aarons definitely one of those right backs that has the defending. I'm not lying. Stop turning off to say I'm lying. Well, seriously, he has the defending and he has the attacking qualities. One of his biggest traits is his pace and his ability to read game situations. He also loves to throw himself into blocks. So he's going to be one of those right backs that just milks and just wants to defend and get everything right. I think he can definitely develop. He's only 20 years old. He's only 20. So we could get a nice little 10 years out of him. And this is what I want, right? Right now, at the moment with Bayern, we have the Goretzkas, the Kimmichs. They're all 25, 24, with Sané coming in, with Gnabry. Their generation in the German national team, right? We have the German core for the next 5, 10 years. No, 5, 7 years. They're not all going to play till like they're 40, no. Or 35, no. They're going to get sold when they're 30, okay? Bastian Schweinsteiger, go to United. Nah, seriously. We have this German core now. What we now need is just the youth. The experience, the youth, right? Alfonso Davies is one where you have your German core, you have your 24-year-olds that can lead the team, that can be captains in their own unique ways, and then you have, you're just, for me, the 20-year-olds and the 19-year-olds, and that's what we need. That's something that I've always wanted at Bayern that we didn't have for so long, especially when just key players leave. Well, you always want to buy as well. And Robert Lewandowski, Karl-Heinz Rummenigge just said that Lewandowski would like 3 stars at Bayern every season. I love that. It's not saying we should sell players. No. If a player like Tolisso, for example, Tolisso was going to leave. We knew that. He was going to Inter Milan. That was my thought. And we were probably going to swap him with Brozovic. I think Brozovic is just a better version of Tolisso. We were going to do that. We were genuinely considering doing that signing and selling Tolisso. But now he scored against Chelsea. Yeah, he's going to stay. The feel-good factor. You can't get rid of him. He helped. He did it. He helped. He came on for 15 minutes. He came on for 20 minutes. Right, you can't sell him just after that. So, it's always one of those things where you still want to remain highly, highly ambitious. But here's another one. Oh yeah, let's do the little rating here. If we get Max Aarons, do we win the UCL? I think well, do we win it again next year? That we want to make this league our monopoly. They hate to see us happen. They hate to see us do it and dominate. But I think yes. No, says Paul Philip Matthew. You know what? I think we do. I think we win the Champagne League. We bring it to the Allianz. If we bring Destin as a backup right back. Let's talk about Dodo. This is a guy that we were linked to. Tolisso is a box-to-box midfielder. Right, yes, he is. But I don't know. I still don't know his position. He doesn't really strike me as like Goretzka. Goretzka's energies, I don't know. Goretzka's better at everything that Tolisso thinks he's good at. So that's just my opinion. So what I'm always confused about with Tolisso is what is his best position? And I hope we can figure that out. I don't know if he's a box-to-box because he doesn't really strike me as that midfielder that loves to get around. And I don't know. Seriously, though, I think Dodo is a good option if you're looking for, a relegated or I don't know. I'm not a fan of him. He's, really short. He's Brazilian, so he's the next Dani Alves. But I'm not really a fan, right? The guy's linked to Juve and Barca, so obviously, yeah, right. I'm sure you're talking about Dest. Right. I don't know. I don't know about a CDM Tolisso. Some of you might. I don't know about that. I think, yeah, Dodo wouldn't really be someone I get excited over. I'd get excited for Sergino Dest because I'm like, oh yeah, he plays for the U.S. men's national team. Dodo just strikes me as like a real backup, like someone that won't push to be a starter. And I'm not really for that. I think we need a young right back. Of course he's young, but someone that can push to be a starter, in 5 years' time or in 3 seasons, and actually give whoever a right back is in the next few years a run for their money. Kimmich, go back to right back. We need you there. Look at his goal contributions, by the way, in 4 games at right back in the Champions League. This guy became the best right back in the world in 4 games. Imagine what he could have done if he just stayed there. All right, seriously though, I love just the options there. So we have Sergino Dest, who looks pretty likely that could happen. We're still very, very much linked to him. Ajax are starting to sell players, but the Bundesliga starts back up in about under 2 weeks now. So, around 2 weeks. We restart. The Pokal game was supposed to be on the 11th, I think. They postponed that to October, which is weird because I don't know how, what if a different team plays on the 11th, but then it's all switched up. So September 18th, that's when the Bundesliga returns. Thank you to Renault there. Look, so we have about 2 weeks to get business done. And speaking of business, Thiago has to leave if we're going to replace him anytime soon. Because I don't want to spend 10 years trying to, I don't want to give this board excuses not to replace Thiago. Because we have to. I don't care if we get, Thiago's son, is it Gabriel or what's his name? Mateo? I don't know. That's Messi's son. But look, I wouldn't mind it. I just think we need a replacement. I would not mind it. Okay, so we move on from the right backs. We know we need a winger. With Coutinho or Perisic, actually, with either one of them leaving, if Perisic stays, then cool. You have your 4th choice winger right there. Not really excited, of course. Perisic would stay just for the luck of having a Croatian player to win the Champions League. It was one of those things that, can line up with the stars, right? He's one of those deja vu player, not deja vu. What's the word for it? He's one of those those players that you have to have, to think you can win it. Yeah, I wouldn't mind Perisic staying, but he's not exciting for me. He's not, he's not young. He's not 23. He's not some kid that I can look up highlights and see his amazing skills. He's not really that. So I think we need a backup winger still. And it looks like Perisic is going to be too expensive, so we're not going to sign him. And Dominic Szoboszlai, that's someone that a lot of you recommended and wanted. At some point, we were all very much Szoboszlai sexuals. I think we wanted him. We were very much never linked to him, but we still wanted him. I think he's a very good player, though. This kid is decent. He can mold himself into a great attacking midfielder, but he could also really just be a winger. I think for me, he's more of a left winger than anything. I'm not convinced he can, be a Thomas Muller-esque attacking midfielder or central forward, because we don't really play with an attacking midfielder. Muller is given the license to move where he can hurt the opponent, and that's really where I don't think Szoboszlai could fill in those boots. I think we need someone else. We need a different type of an attacking midfielder. I wouldn't mind that. That's why I wanted Kai Havertz. That's one of the biggest reasons, because he would definitely be very close to Muller. He likes to move like Muller. Well, not that type of... Yeah, you know what I mean. Sir George. No, do you think... Sir George. Oh, no, please don't call me. That's weird. Do you think Brozovic would be a regular start? No. I don't think a midfield duo of Thiago and Goretzka... Not Thiago and Goretzka. God dang it. I'm getting sad. Of Goretzka and Kimmich is... I don't think anyone in the world can... Well, apart from Thiago and Kimmich. Well, even that, I still think Kimmich would be a right back if Thiago ended up staying. And look, man, I keep telling you, Liverpool don't pay this money. Thiago knows for a fact Bayern aren't going to say, because he's 29. He has a contract till next year. If you're Bayern Munich, you don't need to get rid of Thiago. Look, it's not like we're going to spend Thiago's money on this magical player that we had lined up for him. No, we don't need money. We just won the Champions League. We don't need to sell. We don't. Karl-Heinz Rummenigge, actually on selling, says Bayern isn't a selling club, and clubs don't have much money at this time. So I can't imagine many players will leave us. And if a club comes, we would use the small but meaningful word no. For Thiago, it looks like he wants to leave. We're expecting an offer in the next days. So that's it. It looks like Thiago wants to leave, and we're expecting an offer in the next few days. So if Liverpool come up and say, hey, here's 15 million for, we won't say, it's not like we're in a situation where if we don't get rid of Thiago, he'll leave for free. Nah, if you don't get rid of Thiago, he'll leave for free next year. Yes, absolutely welcomed here. Yes, and look, what makes Liverpool fans believe if Thiago doesn't go to Liverpool now, he won't extend at Bayern and stay here, because we know he wouldn't mind retiring here. And then there's this Mohamed Ihattaren guy. This is a very good player who plays for PSV. He's an attacking midfielder. He's very technical. I don't think he's like Muller, but you know what? I do want someone that's versatile. Muller can play as a right winger, plays a striker, as an attacking midfielder. This guy could do the same. He could play across the front three. I think that's what you need sometimes. You need a player that can do different jobs, but really is a specialist at one. And he's an attacking midfielder. He's a next thing, and he's amazing. Okay, he's absolutely amazing. I wouldn't mind a player like that. I need someone that can definitely mold themselves into a Thomas Muller. Because look, you can't say this, right? Because if you look at the great goalkeepers at Bayern, Sepp Maier, changed the goalkeeping position, right? He was one of the first goalkeepers to actually catch shots instead of just par everything. And then you look at Oliver Kahn, who was the next great goalkeeper after him, right? And there were goalkeepers in between all of them that were at a similar level of greatness, but obviously they weren't game changers. Oliver Kahn, great shot stopper, penalty expert. His jumping reach for only being 6'2", that's only 2 inches away from how tall I am, right? Because I'm pretty tall, right? Tallest guy alive. But he could do everything you wanted with his that he changed goalkeeping. And then you go to then after years upon years, you get some other goalkeepers in there. But then you get Manuel Neuer, and that's the next big game changer. But Neuer has something different. He can save shots. He can do all these things. But he's a sweeper keeper. He's modern. He complements the pressing intensity that Germany and Bayern played with. And he won a World Cup because of it. And he won the Champions League twice because of it. He won the Bundesliga 8 times because of it. And that's you get what I'm trying to say here. What I'm pretty much trying to say, guys, is that every time we say we can't replace this player, we just get a player that plays better. We just get someone that plays better. People always thought, how are we going to replace Basti or Kimmich? Kimmich plays. If you can argue Kimmich he does more things, right? He's just complete. Kimmich is impossible to understand because he can play anywhere. And then you always thought, how can we replace, Beckenbauer? And then you realize Beckenbauer, you can't replace Franz Beckenbauer. You stupid. You can't replace him. No way you can replace. Franz Beckenbauer could be a toxic relationship, and you still couldn't replace him. He's that hard to replace. He's absolutely impossible to replace. You can't replace Beckenbauer. Who else can you not replace? There's not a lot of players. There's Gerd Müller. You always say, I think Lewandowski, as much as, look, I think football is different from when Gerd Müller played it, Franz Beckenbauer played it, to where you have Lewandowski playing it. It's different. But, I don't think of, how great a dribbler was. That's not how you should think. You should think of, okay, what was their job at the time and how well did they do their job? Lewandowski, his job is to score goals, link, assist, do all these things. His job is to be a complete striker, literally, scoring free kicks, spotless penalty record. And that's what you need. That's his job. And he does it. He does it better than, most people do their jobs. That's why he's the best player in the world. Not because he's the best literal player, because Messi would just win that every year. The best player in the world, the Ballon d'Or, that word should, I don't know. Why did we get on this topic? But seriously, you can't replace Lam. We will. That's what we do. We replace players. And I think we will. We'll replace anyone. You know, Thomas Muller will leave, and we'll bring someone else in that isn't like Muller, but puts up similar numbers and is just as great. And that's because we're a competent club. But at the same time, sometimes we act like we're not competent. We don't replace players quickly enough. We don't buy players we should be buying. You know, you have to combine. It has to be a mixture. I wouldn't complain if we spent 100 million every summer. I wouldn't sit here crying, oh, we won another Champions League after spending 100 million. You think Real Madrid fans are crying every time they win the UCL? No, they're not, because they know it's amazing. So, Hattering could be an option. Ndombele as a replacement for Thiago. I don't think this would happen. First of all, he's going to cost an astronomical amount of money. He's not, no. He wouldn't fit our pressing style. No, he wouldn't. The guy I do want, who did play with Ndombele, but was probably the more energetic of the two, is Housen Uwa'a. Someone typed it, and that's how I got to calling him Uwa'a. Well, first of all, this guy is, you know, he's this is what I mean when I say you can't replace, you know, because when I think of a Thiago replacement, you know what? I'll show you my search history on YouTube. I'll show you a video I was watching last night. I mean it when I say it's very hard for me to think of how we'll replace a player. But I was watching a video last night of this Brazilian guy, and seriously, I was researching this Brazilian guy who plays similar to Thiago, because that's how I am. He plays similar to Thiago, right? No. Look, this Mateus, what's his name? Oh my goodness, I forgot. Nah, this is what I mean. We're all weird. I hope I'm not the only one that does this. I'm already looking at replacements for, oh my goodness, I'm so weird. Oh yes, this guy. You know, I'm gonna show you because this is normal for me. Look, me watching a video about Mateus Henrique is ready for a great club in Europe. You know, midfielder who plays like Thiago. Watching Surloth videos, watching top 10 midfielders to make sure Kimmich is in the right position at number 1 and Thiago is at number 1 too. I'm watching Housen Uwa'a. That was last night. This is what wrong screen. This is what I do in my free time. Best in the game. Of course he is. Who would disagree with that? Only idiots. But seriously, man, we always think, oh, how do we replace this player? We need the next. I literally searched the next Thiago, and this Mateus Henrique guy came up. Oh my goodness. The next. Oh my goodness. My God. Okay. Ruben Neves is the best replacement for Thiago. No, he's not. He's not. They're not close. He's more of a, I don't know. He's like a, you know, Registra, or Thiago's more. Thiago does everything. I also do that with Serie A players. Yeah, Brazilian Serie A. I don't know. I just think I'm always I keep searching the next Neymar. You know, just who can we get? That's the next Neymar. The next Lewandowski. I always search that because I want to find out what player would we get to. Oh my goodness. Well, look, that's what it is. That's what the sport is about. It's about replacements. Well, if we get Owa'a, I think we win another Champions League. That's the verdict on him. Kamavinga there, another player that you look at and you're like, okay, he in terms of defending, he's very mature. He's scoring and assisting. He's playing in Ligue 1, a great league, best league in the world. Nah, seriously, yeah, he's playing at a great level. Would he be a replacement at Bayern? I think he could really be, but he costs us a lot of money. And this is where we get to, where we're like, okay, do we want to give Mikel Cousins a chance, or do we want to give this kid, or spend 40 million on this kid? And this is what people don't understand. When you buy a Kamavinga or a Kai Havertz, you're not buying a quick fix. You're not buying Perisic. It's not the same. You're buying 10 years worth of a player. If we spend 100 million on a player, we make that money back through shirt sales, through different things to do with the player. If the player performs on the pitch, he wins trophies, he wins more things. That turns into profit. People think when you spend 100 million, you just lose 100 million. Chelsea spent all this money because they make it back very quickly. You don't think millions of Chelsea fans will be buying Kai Havertz jerseys, and that's going to make up every single transfer. Yes, it does, and that's what happens. So sometimes you take a risk financially, and then if Kai Havertz is crap, then obviously he won't make the money back because he's crap. He's crap, and that's what you do. Let's get Naby Keita. No, you're moving crazy. Kamavinga did say you stay at Rennes. Thank you for that. It's Letty. Thank you so much for that. So last one, Babakure Samore. Oh, I didn't tell you. Okay, if we get Kamavinga, we win the Champions League again. Babakure Samore, probably the closer replacement to Thiago that I could find in Ligue 1. I don't know. I think Ligue 1 probably produces the most talent. The Bundesliga is starting to catch up on that. Over the last few years, we're starting to produce some real players. Some young players. Ligue 1 always, Ligue 1 had Hazard. They had so many great players today. Ligue 1 France produces a lot of players. I mean, look at their center backs. Tanguy Nianzou. That's Kawasi. That's another one that's coming out of France. Mikel Cousins. I don't know why France is the one doing this, but it's like, France is producing so many players. This guy's linked with all 20 Premier League clubs. He is. I wouldn't mind him. The reason I'm saying this is, first of all, he has an unbelievable amount of stamina with him, right? But one thing I like is his ball carrying, his dribbling. That's something that you need at Bayern, especially when the game's moving towards more pressing teams. Gone are the days of sitting back. That's why Atletico are slowly declining. That's why Mourinho isn't the manager he was. That's why this other guy, what's his name? I don't know. Well, that's why the game's moving away. You need intensity. Eventually, the sport will go back to, technicality. But now it's going to physicality. It's going to pressing and giving your opposition less time on the ball. And you need players that are press resistant. And that's why I only have Kamavinga and Oaha and Samore. And Ndombele to a certain extent, because they're actually press resistant. And like Thiago's a blend of everything. He's physical. It's so funny how physical he is. But yeah, it's funny. So you need a blend of everything. So I'm happy today because Karl-Heinz Rummenigge saying and confirming to himself and to us that we need more depth. And that's what it is. That's what it's about, right? So he said he hadn't slept in the Champions League, right? So look, that's it. I don't know, man. I just think it's... why is Rummenigge just exposing us like this, first of all? And, on Thiago, let's finish up with Thiago, and then we'll get to the live comments. By the way, you can join the BayernNow memberships, right? It's getting bigger and bigger, so I appreciate each and every single person that's joining that. It helps support the channel. For example, I'm buying a new chair, because this chair is killing my back. But that's really only to make better video. No correlation there whatsoever. But look, it's not like I'll sit there and play games. I'd make more videos and be more productive with a better chair. So that's only coming from the support. So that's that. Why would I do Patreon? That's so stupid. That's the dumbest thing ever. But it's all about creating more and more content. So, right, I'm glad that Karl-Heinz is, confirming what we knew, and that's that we need a better, just everything. We need more backups. We need more players. Also, on Alaba, his contract looks like it's getting ready to be finalized and done. I mean, I don't think Alaba is going to go anywhere else other than Bayern. He just won a treble, and which is why it's so confusing why Thiago's going to Liverpool. You're moving from Robert Lewandowski to Firmino, who on a given day looks like a lesbian. And no disrespect to him there, but he looks like a lesbian most of the times. And that's where we're at. Javi Martinez is also another one that he confirmed wants to leave. He's considering leaving. That's the real word for it. I hope Javi Martinez all the best, right? Because first of all, you kind of need that sort of player, but I think we have that in Muller, where they're always around the new signings and they're always hanging around with everyone. Javi speaks Spanish, English, so he's and German too. So he's with every social group in the team. So it was difficult for Javi Martinez to move from Spain to Germany at the time he did, because in 2012 it would have been harder to learn the language. But now you have billions of different ways to learn German. I could learn German here if I wanted to, but I'm not doing that. Me Deutsch sehr gut is already very good, okay? You don't need to learn anything. Right, it's just we need that sort of player. How likely is Kamavinga? Well, there's a 0% chance we sign him this season because it looks like he's staying at Rennes. And Real Madrid will be in for him next year. And you know what? On Kamavinga, why are Madrid always given this free route to getting players? You know, look, if Bayern come in and say, hey, Kamavinga, we want you. Tanguy Kawasi had ludicrous contract offers from Leipzig. He could have gone there and probably developed quicker and gotten more game time. But he said, okay, I want to be a legend at a club. I want to play, but I also still want to be winning trophies. He came to Bayern Munich. And that's the difference. You see that difference. And why wouldn't we go for someone like Kamavinga? Because this is what we allow Real Madrid to do sometimes. We are giving Real Madrid, we're the only club in the world that can rival Real Madrid for attraction right now. We have the best manager in the world. Look, Boateng came out yesterday and said Hansi Flick gave him the most emotional pre-match speech before the PSG game. Flick, that's what I love to hear. You know, I want to hear, you know, maybe in 5 years when Flick leaves us and goes to a new challenge or something and wins his 5th Champions League title with Bayern. I want to hear back and listen to interviews about how Hansi Flick dealt with players. Because clearly it seems like he's an expert at managing players. He's an expert at managing how players and humans interact. And he's a real, that's what managers do. You know, I bet you he's known as an empathetic leader, and that's what it is. So with Hansi Flick, players would want to play for that. You know, if you're a player that, you know, Coutinho, for example. Coutinho's leaving us, but I'm sure in the back of his mind, he loves Flick. He loves and appreciates what Hansi does for him. You know, and that's what you need. Our manager is absolutely amazing. And that's, you know, we shouldn't be feeling guilty that we picked up this gem, but we did. I should. Hansi Flick is a gift. Because not many managers have this, where they can be empathetic with the players, but also have a clear philosophy of how they want things done and seek perfection. Because so many players will be like, I don't want to do this work. But Flick demands it. He demands perfection. And on Hansi, players will want to play for him. First of all, he just won the Champions League. You know, for Bayern, that's huge. Players, I bet you, if Donny van de Beek, if we wanted him, he'd want to come to Bayern, and that's it. You know, any player we want right now would want to come to Bayern, and we should use that to our advantage. We should use that. And Adidas, man, get us Messi. Now I'm playing. Well, Messi would probably love to play for Bayern. You know, in a system where everyone's working hard, and he won't be. You know, he could be a passenger, an Uber, call it $20. Okay, fine, get in the back of be a passenger for us, right? Well, I mean, people are like, why would we want Messi? He doesn't fit our pressing style. I'm like, bro, Messi's going to get you 50 goals at least a season or something like that. He's going to get you a guaranteed 20 assists. I wouldn't give a damn if he's not running back and tracking back on Moussa Diaby from freaking Bayer Leverkusen. No, seriously. You know, Liverpool, I don't know. He destroyed Liverpool. Nah, but seriously, that's what we need. Messi is going to the club that destroyed his club. He wouldn't be going to, Messi's not going to Bayern. Dodo and Camavinga would be the best signings. I don't know much about Dodo. I'm sure some of you watch him week in, week out. I don't know. Maybe we need another winger. We can play Cam because I don't know what you mean there. But I do agree, Robin, that we need more depth, another winger. We need an attacking midfielder because, look, as much as we talk about depth, I still even think if Boateng leaves, we need another center back. I still think depth is so important. Look, we won that Champions League campaign because even if our first teamers got injured, we had Niklas Süle coming on for Boateng. Come on, that's defensive depth. If you need to win a game, 70 million Lucas Hernandez is coming in. It's almost like Lucas Hernandez was the start of something because now we bought Sane. In what world would Bayern have spent 100+ million on Sane? Because we were actually going to pay that much money for Sane. There was an ambition from the club to get to that next level there and immediately. Because we were embarrassed by Liverpool, and the club felt like, damn, we've been falling behind. We've been sleeping. Our net spend since 2018 is only 60 million. I think we need to make that more. And that's not by spending money dumbly. It's just buying random stars. That's by spending money more often on players that we need. If we need a backup for Thiago, we should spend money for a backup for Thiago. I want an immediate solution. I don't want to wait 4 years for a Thiago-esque player to finally mold themselves into that. Because we could have that while still buying someone that replaces Thiago. Because when you lose a certain quality, you have to replace it with either quantity that adds up and matches to that quality, or quality that could get close to that quality, but they're not there yet. And that's someone like a Houssem Ouaha. That's someone like a Eduardo Camabinga. That's someone, and that's where you need. And that's where I think we had that this season. At the beginning, I was so happy that people were just looking at our bench and saying, they have Coutinho on the bench, because we certainly do. We certainly do. And that's the most important thing, right? That's the most important thing. I'm happy with this. I'm happy. But to play Thiago's role is a bit different. Yeah, that's true, right? But Kamavinga, he does play that role. I think people think of Kamavinga. He's a very good, amazing on the ball. I think he's the next, kind of CDM. He's not even like a Casemiro. He's not one of those that sit. No, he wants to get on the ball. He likes to dribble. He scored an amazing goal. He gets assists, and that's something I want. Should we play Tolisso or Cam as Muller's backup? I'm sure Tolisso can play there, but I don't think he's anything like Muller. If you're going to play someone as Muller's backup, ideally they should be just a little bit as Muller. I don't know. Goretzka is closer to Muller than Tolisso is, and it's crazy because Goretzka is our CDM, backup. Well, our second pit. What do you call them? Our second midfielder. We don't really use a CDM. Paul, why is Muller not as good as a finisher? I don't think Muller's as good as anything. He's not really a dribbler. He's not a header of the ball. He's not incredibly strong, but it's his intelligence, right? It's picking the right decisions at the right moment, and that's what Muller gives us. He's world class at it. He's one of the greatest players to ever play this game, but people won't say it because he doesn't dribble like R9, but he gets just as many numbers and is just as effective as R9. Muller will kill you with his shirt tucked in while Neymar's out here dancing on his way to the stadium. But Muller will do it with his shirt tucked in, and that's what you need. You need that type of attitude. And I love that about Muller. Love that. Absolutely love that. Wow. Okay. Wow. Manchester United are signing Van de Beek. Like I said, that's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. Doesn't make any sense. It's just Van de Beek is done to United. So that's a stupid signing. It doesn't make any sense because you'd think they'd buy a CDM. He's not. Whatever. I don't really care. Who should be the starting center back partnership? I think it's going to be Alaba, Niklas Süle. Apparently, Hansi Flick made Alaba his defense chief, his defensive leader. And I think he deserves it. Alaba has been absolutely quintessential to our double. I can pull up the numbers on my phone, on my Twitter. The numbers are crazy for Alaba. Yeah, that's just what he is. Van de Beek is Bruno. Yeah, exactly. It's so weird. You think they'd buy a left back or a center back before they buy another attacking midfielder. It's just so weird. And Van de Beek isn't really a good CDM or a good box-to-box. He's better than Bruno Fernandes. He's literally a better version of Bruno Fernandes. That's why I didn't want Van de Beek at Bayern. But he would have been a very good backup to Muller. Donny Van de Beek would have been good. He's an intelligent player. He likes to make runs off the street. He's a relentless player. I think he would have been very good as a backup to Thomas Muller. But him going to United is probably the stupidest transfer of the summer because he's better than Bruno Fernandes, in my opinion. Like, he's more polished. He keeps the ball better. He makes better decisions. And that's just because he's, played at a, much more structured team, Ajax. George, should Gnabry get the number 7? Van de Beek can't play box-to-box, Sachin. I don't think you watch him. I've watched Ajax, and he doesn't really do that. He's literally off the striker type midfield. He can make the tackles, but he's not a natural box-to-box like Goretzka. George, should Gnabry get the number 7? I don't think he wants it because shouldn't it have already changed? Jorge, how many games should we give to Kouassi? Well, it depends. First of all, we're injury FC, so I can pretty much say he's going to start at least 10 games next season. And that's still, not as much as you think, because Perisic started so many games. Boateng wasn't a starter. He was on the bench. But Nicolas Zula and Lucas Hernandez simultaneously got injured, which meant Davies came to left back and Alaba left center back, and Boateng came to right center back. And Javi Martinez started a lot of games too, starting at right center back, because Boateng would have one injury or the other week. So I think that's something that we need to take care of. He's going to start games, and I'm absolutely all for it because he's such an amazing player. What number will Sane wear next? Yeah, number 10. So Jonathan David would have been a great sign. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for us. Yeah, but he's at Lille now, so he said he'd take the Bundesliga as a step up just to end up in Liga. Yeah. Apparently, no club wanted him that much, so that's pretty funny. But look, I hope he can do well. Looks like he's their number 9 there, striker. That's what you want from these young players. I want him to, make a little bit of noise, because, well, he was born in New York, but he's Canadian. God damn, what's with these kids that could have been American just turning to Canada like Canada's some good country? They're still trying to figure out how not to say sorry in every moment, and they're going, Davies, what's wrong with you? Nah, that's annoying me. F Canada. Nah, I'm playing. I love Canada. I don't have anyone that lives there that I care about or know. Right, so do we need a backup? Well, Jonathan David would have been more of an attacking midfielder or a central forward, right? Almost like Müller, but not the same. It's almost like Müller runs off of his Bavarian, energy. And when I say that, I don't mean not all the other Germans that live in Stuttgart. George doesn't think we have. No, that's not what I meant. I didn't say. I'm just saying Müller. He's a natural Bayern fan. He was born there. He was born. I think Müller was literally born in a place that's like after Bayern. Yes, he was born in Wilhelm in Oberbayern. Literally, Oberbayern, Upper Bavaria. He's literally a Super Bayern, Upper Bayern. Come on. He was born there, so clearly he's really just a Bayern fan. So he runs like us. Müller plays like how I would play if I played for Bayern. He runs around and just makes everything, like he milks everything. Like he makes, that's why I love this guy so much. Mourinho, the German Xavi. No, not German Xavi. We don't need negative players. Yes, I don't. Do you think we should move Alaba to left back? No. No. There's a reason we bought Sane too. I get it where you're coming from. You played left. No, but Davies is such a broken left back that I wouldn't want to do that. Who are Bayern actually linked with? So right now we pretty much know we're getting a backup right back. It could be Max Aarons. It could be Sergino Dest. It could be any of those. I'm so confused. How are Manchester United signing? You need a center back more than you need Van de Beek. I'm just so confused how that midfield would work. It would be the most useless midfield ever. Paul Pogba wants to do exactly what Van de Beek wants to do. They both want to get forward. That's going to be weird. Why not get a CDM like a Zakaria or someone like that? I don't know. It's dumb. Brozovic would have been great for Man United. He could play as a lone DM. Backup for Müller needed. I do think so. I think we can't use those horse legs for too long, because he's getting old now. He's gonna start using a cane. Well, leave a like on the video, everyone. I think we're coming towards the end of today. I appreciate each and every single person that's been here today. You're all amazing people. George, what do you think of a Tau to Bayern? I don't think it's happening. It's never looked like it would have been materializing itself. So we're not signing Yusuf Attal. Hopefully we do sign someone. We will. I think it depends. If Thiago goes, which looks like, what's weird? It's just, there's Liverpool fans telling me Thiago got bored of Bayern. 4 months ago, Christian Falk said, I'm happy to announce Thiago's new contract with a smile face. Thiago was signing a new contract. So you're telling me that, he said, okay, I won't sign this new contract. But then there he decided, okay, I'm bored. No, he wasn't bored. He just wants to try something new. And, I hope the transfer talks break down. Look, if Liverpool don't pay the money, he'll stay. I don't think it was ever about Thiago wanting to stay or wanting to move. It's always been about Liverpool paying the money or not paying the money. And that's what Fabrizio Romano keeps saying. Christian Falk is starting to backtrack. he's starting to say things like other Premier League clubs could come in. Thiago only wants to go to Liverpool. If other Premier League clubs don't come in for Thiago, it's almost like he's literally trying to push Liverpool to sign him by saying other. Thiago doesn't want other Premier League clubs. He only wants Liverpool. And if that doesn't happen, I can imagine him extending and staying here and finishing his career here because he could still win more Champions Leagues. This is the start of a new era, and people are like, well, you win the Bundesliga, you win the Pokal. Not every year, but we don't win the Pokal that often as people seem to imagine. You know, teams take their shares. Frankfurt 2018, Dortmund 2017, you know, they take their shares. But you win everything. Why do you need... We need to win the Champions League, and that's the era we're talking about. That's the start. We just broke the curse of losing a few finals and then winning one. We just broke that. You know, we could have literally given PSG their first ever Champions League. And we're the strongest team in Europe, all across the board, with Thiago or without Thiago. And I think that's something we want to keep. So, you know, it's the start of a new era in that light. It is. That's what Karl-Heinz Rummenigge says. And I hope we can back Hansi Flick in the transfer window. Because this guy just won a freaking Champions League spending $0. Pep has spent, what, his billions at City? Billions and billions and billions, Donald Trump FC. He's spending all these billions, yet they still can't win a Champions League. And Hansi Flick did it with a team that lost to the last year's winners. Don't talk to me about backing your manager, Bayern's board. I'm gone. Mia san mia. Get to 60 likes. I gotta go. And peace.